Okay, I'm back. For now. We'll see. And I've got my captioning turned on. And with luck, the game will boot up. Okay.
What's the point? I'm not very good, and it's only for the same few people every night.
I think you played beautifully. It would be a shame if
What are you
stopped.
doing that for? All right, Wilhelm. I suppose it's the least I can do for you.
Okay, they're gone. Or at least out of the room. Now for Steve. Not again. Okay, the audio disappeared. The game seems to be frozen. Okay, well, not entirely frozen, but my controller disconnected again. And I have no audio. Ah, no. What are you doing? And now I can't. Okay, now my controller's connected again. But I can't seal this cheese wedge with this guy looking at me. And there's no sound, which is driving me nuts. I give up. I'm clearly not destined to play Skyrim tonight. Well, actually, let's do a just chatting. Yeah, the game's clearly being a bit buggy, so no joy. But there's no reason I can't right now. At least there's no reason right now that I can't stay on and chat for a while. It's not like I'm gonna go to bed anytime soon, so. Alas. And I had such plans almost. I was gonna steal that cheese. Exercise my limited sneak skills. Oh no, we're not at 55 mods. We're at like 99 mods. Or let me check that actually. What does mod organizer say I have? 91. 91 mods. And really that's kind of trivial compared to a lot of other people. Yes, it is. It's a gaming laptop. I got it because the specs were above the minimum for running Skyrim. Okay, yeah, maybe not with that many mods. I just... They're all necessary mods. I don't want to give up a single one. And they make it just so much prettier and certain things so much nicer. But yeah, I really should post my list on the Reddit and see if somebody can help me streamline my mod selection. It's so much better with mods. Yeah, exactly. Maybe it's just a particular mod that's being a little bit buggy and there's a patch somewhere that I can just download for it. Or maybe I have a patch installed incorrectly and I just need to like uninstall and reinstall. Because I have to admit, actually, a number of the mods that I have are actually patches to make the mods work better. So, it could be that. I was gonna go up to High Hrothgar and get the High Hrothgar cheese. Basically, I was gonna get a lot of cheese this game. Yep, cheese, then dragons. I've got my priorities. Someday I'm gonna complete the cheese quest, and I will find out what the nifty artifact is that I get for completing the cheese quest. That would be nice. Yes, that would be highly appropriate. Maybe it's a ring of cheesiness. Everything I touch will turn to cheese. Or rather, everything I hit with a weapon equipped is turned to cheese. So, I could shoot a dragon with an arrow and it just falls to the ground, a bunch of cheese wheels. It would. But I suspect it's not going to do that. That would be, like, way overpowered. I mean, the Wabbajack doesn't even do anything to dragons, which is lame. I don't know, what would be most likely for a Daedric artifact given by the god of madness that isn't the Wabbajack? Yes, random is sort of the point. But there's so many levels of random. Is it like the Webbajack but better? That could be terrible. Or maybe it just summons creatures. Whether or not they'll fight for you is up for debate. I love how we're debating super powerful artifacts when it's also entirely possible it's going to be something really trivial. Like a ring that improves your stats by like 1 point. Yeah, it could well be something like that. It just guarantees you cheese with the random loot drops. Which, I mean, wouldn't necessarily be bad, because cheese, but it would be a bit disappointing after a quest that involves collecting 202 cheeses. The real question, is there whale cheese? I mean, obviously I'll find out by the time I've collected all 202 cheeses, but right now I'm wondering. Ooh, maybe it is. The prize is that you could now find whales in the ocean and milk them for cheese. And you are the only purveyor of whale cheese. It would be very appropriate. Or maybe there's unicorn cheese. I don't know. That would be so nightmarish. I, that's an awful idea. And yet the more I think about it, the more that seems like it's a possibility. I don't want to have to find all the cheese again. I mean, once I found them all, it's going to be kind of trivial to collect them again. They do respawn. None of the cheese is actually quest locked as far as I know. Yeah, it does. It would be a horribly Sheogorath sort of thing to do. Hmm. I think this is really going to decide what god I worship after this cheese quest is done. I'm determined to stick with Sheogorath until I've finished his cheese quest. But after that, I think I might choose a different deity. Especially if his reward isn't that worthwhile. I don't know if any of the other. I don't think any of the other gods have special quests quite like that. The cheese quest, because the cheese quest is a specific mod. A really well done mod, because it does fit the world rather well, but a mod nonetheless. And I don't think that person has done any mods for any of the other Daedric deities. Yes. That would be nice. But then I don't know how anybody's going to top Sanguine's vanilla quest. You'd have to come up with something better than The Hangover. I still haven't seen that movie. Yeah, James Bond film would be good. I'm trying to imagine how a James Bond, how to adapt a James Bond film to Skyrim. Yeah, I'm just realizing how tall and pointy this building is. And yet, we never really see much of the upstairs. Yes, more crashing of the Thalmor embassy, and you need a really high speech skill so you can seduce people left, right, and center. Yes. Yes, exactly. With gambling mini games? Or would they be truly random? Or would it depend on some skill to put points into? Yeah, mini games would be probably better. Uh, it's a shame that James Bond has not aged well, honestly. Yeah, the more one looks at it, the more problematic it gets these days. Yeah, the action is still fairly classic. But I don't know, the updated Bond kind of lost something along the way. It lost the humor. Half the fun of the Bond films was just the ridiculousness. And the new Bond tries to take itself too seriously. But even in being at its silliest, it was still kind of problematic with all the sexism and racism and all the other isms. Yeah, it really was. And well, I forgive the books because they're written by somebody from a much earlier generation. The movies, especially the later ones, have way less excuse. Yeah, I guess they knew nobody wanted to buck the trend of what had already done well. I don't know. You could play Crusader Kings. We could play uh other things. You've got options. Or you could dig up something old that you haven't played in a long time. Yep. I'm sure you've got a lot of games that you haven't played in a while. You could play some of the Witcher games if you have those. That is a lot of games. Oh, that's so sad. I own all three Witcher games. And yet I've never actually played them all the way through. Ooh, I know. You could play NetHack, which isn't going to be on Steam, I don't think. Although it ought to be, really. Ooh, Halo. You haven't played that in a long time, I don't think. Ooh. That's too bad. Yeah, I don't know what you should play. I mean, between an action game and some kind of farming game, they both have their good points. Like, sim games are way more relaxing in their own way, but it's easier to get sucked in. I mean, just one more thing to do. Yeah. That's a good point. Now, on that note of sim games, I'm not really feeling the Sunday Sims vibe this last couple of weeks. Yeah, I think so. No, you're right. I shouldn't do 100% Skyrim, although admittedly that's where a lot of my the people who follow me started following me. I should pick a relatively obscure game so that I'm like one of the only people streaming it. As- Oh, is it? I mean, I know a lot of people were making noise about Sims 5, but I wasn't aware it had been announced. Yeah, true. But this would be just my once a week versus my 3 times a week Skyrim. It'd be a worthwhile try. Maybe I could do NetHack. That definitely wouldn't put any strain on my computer. Yeah, and way less graphics intensive. I'd want to run some background music for that. I do Age of Empires, but I'm so very bad at that. I can't really get through the game without cheating. Yes. Yes. Win every game by spawning the Shelby Cobra with the machine gun mount. Oh, I don't have Age of Empires 4. I've only got Age of Empires 2. And its expansions. Oh, I know. I could do that Egyptian game, City Builder. I think 2 HD, but I don't know. Pharaoh or Cleopatra. Well, Pharaoh with the Cleopatra expansion is what it is. I know, I could try a range of games and see what gets people more interested, or which one is more fun to do with an audience. Because I don't do any cheats for the Pharaoh game. And I could get a reasonable ways in. Yeah. Oh, I know, Neverwinter Nights. That's a game I haven't played in a while. You never did beat. I beat the campaign like once. No, always meant to do it a second time and never quite got around to it. I was not satisfied with the ending I got. Yeah, there's like, well, there's a good guy ending, a bad guy ending, and I think there's like a couple different middle of the road endings. And I ended up with one of the middle of the road endings, I think. Because I started out a bad guy, but then I started making more and more good guy decisions. Also, I made a lot of mistakes early on because I didn't realize how things were going to stack up and play out. I always wanted to do a proper good guy playthrough, completionist and everything. And then a proper bad guy playthrough just to be thorough. Yeah, and again, it's not a game I do any cheats on, so. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Sunday I'll trot out Neverwinter Nights, maybe. Or NetHack. Okay, I'm probably gonna sign off and call it for the night. And don't worry, you can't be worse at Halo than me. Okay. See you Monday.